Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new Cool Kids live stream. Where today we are going to talk about the Knuckles TV series that was released on Paramount Plus. This is the spinoff TV series for the in terms of like the Sonic live action Sonic universe, featuring our favorite Red Echidna. So you all know who we are. You all know the drill. So let me go ahead and get started. So I'm sure that these guys know, and I'm sure that maybe some of the people that watch, and I mentioned that I am a massive Sonic fan. I mean, I've got multiple. Yes, I have that forbidden
This
thing. So
motherfucker owns Sonic 06. That just should show how big of a fan he is.
yeah. Let's see here. Yes, I am a massive fan. Have there been some ups and downs in terms of the games, but I will still play the newest Sonic game that comes out. So in terms of the movies, I will say that I love first Sonic movie, and I will say that I think the second one's even better. In fact, the second Sonic movie is probably my favorite movie video game adaptation. So um, so when they announced the Knuckles series, I was actually kind of really curious about it. I was really excited about it. And then I saw the trailer. I was still kind of I was some things kind of turned me off a little, but I was still interested and still willing to give it a chance. First of all, and I saw this Friday morning with my fiance. We got up at by like 4:35 in the morning just to watch it. What I think of it, I thought it was perfectly fine. It's nothing great. I would still prefer the first two Sonic movies, but I mean it's a decent distraction. So I would say, let me go and get the positives out of the way. Of course, the performances were well done. I Knuckles and Wade, they pretty much are so hilarious together. So in fact, I don't know if I'm on an island on this, but I found Wade to be funny in the other first two Sonic movies. I don't know if anyone else will, if I'm alone on that, but we'll see. But I found their chemistry works off each other. They were hilarious together. They had a lot of badass fight scenes. Um, and it was just and I do like a lot of the and I do some of the characters do interest were pretty good too. The biggest drawback I will have to say is the fact that it is called the Knuckles series, but it should have been called Knuckles and Wade's Excellent Adventure because it seems like it's more focused. I mean, I will say that I do understand where the critics are coming from, that this is more of like Wade's story and all, but I mean, it doesn't take away. Like I was thinking that people were gonna say, "Oh yeah, Knuckles is hardly in it and all that," but it's like he has a decent amount. But I think that it was like the Wade story, like it had more focus on Wade's story, his family dynamics, and this bowling tournament. So, and I would have liked to see a little bit more Knuckles in it. Another problem I have with it, I had some another problem I have with it is that I feel like it was a wasted opportunity. They could have used more characters from introduced more characters from the games. I mean, I was hoping that they would bring in the Chaotix team because that's how they were introduced. They were introduced in Knuckles' solo video game, Knuckles Chaotix, which was for the failed 32X. Um, I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but look it up if you don't. Um, but I feel like they could have used more characters from the games and introduced them. The only one that I knew that they did introduce was Chief Patrick Kamak, who actually did play a small role in Sonic Adventure 1 as a flashback character. Um, and I'm sorry. And we got our friend Devin in the chat. Hello. Um, Another thing, and although I will say there was one reference that kind of bothered me about. There's one reference I really could have done, even though I said they could have used more characters from the games. There was one reference I really wish that they did not bring back because they mentioned the flames of disaster, and all that was doing was giving me flashbacks to this piece of shit. Enough said. So I could have done without that. But I mean, overall, it's certainly a fine. I like to think of the Knuckles series kind of like an appetizer kind of thing, while Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will be the main course kind of thing. It's a fine distraction if you need to get your Sonic fill in. If you need something to like entertain the kids for a little bit, or maybe if you're a Sonic fan, it's just something to get your fill kind of thing. But I mean, if you decide not to watch it, you're not really missing much. Um, so with that, I'm going to give it a once I pull up a 6.5 out of 10. All right.
All right. So apologies if I sound like complete shit. I've had a cold for the past like week and a half, and it sounds like, and I've been coughing and sound really hoarse. So apologies. But yeah, Knuckles, I didn't like my expectations, I would say, were a little bit lowered. I mean, it looked like a fun time, but everyone was saying, like, oh yeah, Knuckles is barely in it. He's fucking, it's not his show, it's Wade's show. And it's like, okay. I expected like Knuckles to appear in like one episode, and then the rest of the show is just gonna be about Wade. And then he was like gonna come out at the end, kind of like what Sonic's actual role was in this. That's what I expected, and it's like, no, it's actually it's about the both of them. It's about kind of intertwining like the warrior sort of thing, echidna tribe thing that was like with Wade, and then got to have that importance of family thing going on with Knuckles now. But I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really weird, really fun, like experimental. I feel like with this, it was like, due to the fact it was a mini series, they could like kind of get away with like maybe some like maybe weirder ideas. Like that fourth episode was just insane. I really, I really liked that episode. Episodes 3 and 4 were definitely the best episodes because those were like all about like the third episode is like a fucking all about Shabbat, and then like the fourth episode was like just this weird interpretive rock opera, and I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. But with that, I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought Adam Pally, I thought he was funny. I liked him. A little cringy at points, but I think that was kind of the point. I really liked him. I thought he was funny. Idris Elba is once again great as Knuckles. Um, I think I really liked Stalker Channing as fucking Wade's mom, and then Carrie Elwes as his dad. I thought that was really funny. Um, I also liked that bounty hunter Jack Sinclair. I thought that was amusing. Um, but yeah, I thought like a lot of really good moments, a lot of really good. You also had Kid Cudi in there. Fuck yeah, throw Kid Cudi in there. Sure, why not? This time he's evil, Kid Cudi. You know, but I like a lot of those accents. I mean I liked the bowling stuff. I liked like the whole warrior thing, and I thought it was like it was just a lot of fun. It was like it was stupid and ridiculous, but this is a fucking franchise about a talking blue hedgehog who likes chili dogs. Like really, like are we gonna be like this is too weird. You know what? Fuck. It's got Rory McCann in a giant mech suit with whiplash whips. Like, come on now. Like, this is ripe for like dumb shit. And you know what? I'm here for it. I had a lot of fun with it. It's just the problem was I feel like it was paced weirdly. I feel like there was a lot of filler. I feel like this would have been better as like a 2 hour like special. Um, because like you could have cut out because pretty much this show was about like 3 hours because each episode was like 30 minutes, not even there was one that was like 20 minutes. So this is like roughly like a 3-hour show. And so this could have been like a 2-hour movie and would have cut out all the, filler that we kind of didn't really need. So with that, even with all that, I still found it really fun. I like the bowling tournament was silly, and then yeah, the gun agents who were like silly. Rory McCann is always great. Um, but yeah, overall, I thought the CGI was like really fucking good, especially for mainly for like a shitty TV show nobody gives a fuck about on Paramount Plus. So I gotta give credit where credit is due there. Like, you could see, like, the fucking individual hairs on Knuckles' back. Like, that's good. I will say the interaction, like, when you see, like, Adam Pally, like, hugging him and stuff like that, which I thought was really funny. Like, it's a little bit awkward, like, you can kinda see, like, it's like he's trying to hug, like, a fucking green stuffed animal, like how it was on set, and it looks a little weird, but, like, Knuckles by himself and he's just like doing his thing. It looks really good. Like the CGI looks genuinely really good for a fucking 3-hour miniseries. So you know what? Good on them, I guess. Like that's pretty awesome. Like it looked better than like probably the last like 5 Marvel movies combined. So good on them. But yeah, overall I thought it was a lot of fun. I think people need to fucking get their head out of their asses. Devin, fucking just watch it. Stop being a bitch. Jesus Christ. Oh, it doesn't have Wade in it. Fuck off. Fuck off. It has Knuckles. It has Wade. It has bowling. What the fuck else do you need? 7 out of 10. Fuck off. All right. It's fun. Fuck you. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Come on. A fucking action scene happens during a Shabbat dinner. Like, that's just gold. That's fucking gold.
Okay, who wants to go next? Um, you know what? How about since Mark's used to going last, I'll let Austin go next.
Oh, it's me. All right. Cool then. Um, so kind of like Rob, I am a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Actually, unironically, me and my friend Mo did a Sonic game tier list recently where we just ranked games and we screwed around. That's pretty dope. Dope game there. So yeah, I would like to classify myself as a Sonic fan, and I binge watched the 2 Sonic movies. I think like a few months ago, and it was a really, really good. It was really, really fun. Both films, I think, are really good. So when I heard about the Knuckles show, I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Like, it's a show about Knuckles and just Knuckles, and there's not going to be any real Sonic characters involved. Okay, so there's no Sonic, no real Tails, really. So I mean, we do see him in the trailer, but they're just going to be like they were more in cameo roles. So was this like an epic action-packed show that we were all expecting? No, that's not what we got. But that being said, it was still pretty enjoyable. I I mean, again, kind of like what everyone said, I think the chemistry between Knuckles and Wade, Idris Elba and Adam Paley, they were probably the highlights of the entire thing. And that's pretty good because they are the main roles. And like John said, the CGI on Knuckles looks so good. It puts mostly everything from phases 4 and 5 of the MCU to shame, which, that's my one dig at the MCU during this entire live stream. I'm not gonna do it again. Um, the messaging of the entire show, of just like belonging and like family, like I think it was a very wholesome show, and it also gives the character Wade a little bit of more depth. And I actually found Wade to be very likable here. The humor was honestly very surprising too, because while it was a bit childish at points, um, I still found myself chuckling and laughing a little bit throughout the entire thing. I especially liked how in episode 2 when Wade was like planning out Knuckles' escape plan, and he's like, "All right, guys, let's do this," and like next thing you know, everything it just goes to hell, and that honestly had me laughing a little bit harder than it should have. Episode 3 with the Shabbat dinner gave me the dinner party episode from The Office vibes, which I thought was really, really funny and really goofy. Um, the episode, the fourth episode's musical number gave me it was a very much of an acid trip. But honestly, I was here for it because I'm just here for the memes at this point. Um, the action towards the end looked really good, and I will say the two rogue gun agents, I actually found them to be I thought they had some personality to them, unlike the main antagonist of the show, and I'm going to put antagonist in quotes because the antagonist does nothing, which I'll get into in a second here. Um, I like the family dynamic. The mom, I believe I think it was Stockard Channing, I believe. She did a really good job. I liked her chemistry. You could definitely feel like she had some really good emotion there. The sister was fine. I mean, Eddie Patterson did a fine job. She was just annoying at points. I get what they were going for, but at points it's almost like that type of annoying where you're just rolling your eyes and just like, oh, shut up already. Um, the acting just in general, I think, was really good, and again, music wise, I thought it was good. So you might think, oh, well, Austin, well, what's the problem here? Well, here's the biggest issue. If you take Knuckles and like the Sonic stuff out of it, and you just kept Wade and the bowling stuff, you're really not missing much, if in whole honesty. Um, it's not as bad as I think some people are making it out to be. Like, oh my god, there's no Knuckles in it. That's not entirely true. Like, Knuckles is still in the show regardless. It's not like Mandalorian or no Book of Boba Fett where Mando just took over the entire show for 2 episodes. Like, it wasn't that bad. Like, he still at least showed up here and there, but I do feel like there's a little too much weight, and I don't know if that was just because of a budgeting issue or maybe they couldn't afford like Idris Elba to be in like a lot of the episode. I don't know, but I really do feel like as a show, this didn't really work that well in terms of because I think what John said, and I think he hit the nail on the head here. I think it was just a little too bloated. I feel like there was a lot of filler, and I was really surprised by the episode lengths too, because for a 6 episode show, you would expect a 40 minute episodes, not like 20-30 minutes, but Rob, I think you said it in the DMs. You said it yourself. Like it's a kid's show, so you can't really do 40-minute episodes, which is fine. But I feel like at that point, don't even if it's going to be near close to 3 hours, you should have just made like a direct to streaming film, like not even a theater release. Just release it on like a streaming service like a Paramount, and what they kind of did, but as a show, that would have been much better. But whatever. I think if you're gonna do like a Sonic related show, I think a Team Chaotix show I think would have been much better, where you have Team Chaotix like doing like one, like you could do like a 6 episode like one-off episodes where like they're just taking over, like they're taking cases and making something goofy like that. Because I think with the style of the show, it would have worked better. But again, coming back to this, if you take everything out, this would just feel like a bland, mediocre spinoff or just Wade going bowling. Like that, honestly, I feel like if you take all that out, you're just left with that. Also, if this is a spinoff, they should have done a better job trying to connect this to Sonic 3 a little bit, because the way the show ends, it just ends. Like, it just ends with the freeze frame of Knuckles and Wade going, yeah! That's I thought it was kind of lame, but I was like, okay, whatever. And also the main antagonist, I'm going to put the antagonist in quotes again, because the antagonist does absolutely nothing, because he only shows up like a couple times and at the end he loses. Okay, that's a great job, antagonist. Can't wait to see this antagonist in other projects. I'm going to put projects in quotes because I don't think he'll be backing it because he's dead. It just didn't. It was just like he was just a whatever villain. Also, the reveal of the dad like turning on Wade, it kind of felt predictable because it almost the way they went about it just didn't feel. But that said, if the show was edited into like an hour and a half to maybe a 2-hour film, I think the concept of the show would have worked better, but even then, I still found myself enjoying it. Like it's not to the point of bad where it's like, oh my god, this is like it's so unwatchable, it ruins the Sonic name. No, there's a lot of other things that ruin the Sonic name. This is not even close. You want to talk about ruining the Sonic name? Play Sonic 06. Play Sonic Boom. All three of those trash heap games. Play Sonic Forces. And play the really bad Kinect game. This is just okay. God. Gross. Very gross. It's fine. It's an enjoyable show that gave the character Wade more layers, and it's just a very wholesome show. If you're a Sonic fan, check it out. But if you don't want to watch it, you're not missing anything. So I mean, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's an enjoyable show. It's nothing too crazy. It's just there. I would recommend it.
Okay, I guess that's my turn. But I'm not a huge Sonic fan. I mean, so I never had much to do with the console, so I never played the game that much. But I watched the show for the review, plus for my buddy up here, and I actually enjoyed it. I can't say it was great, but it was enjoyable. It was kind of more in line with the first two Sonic films, which I really enjoyed. The humor was fantastic. The humor was great. Knuckles is, his typical overly serious, ironically funny self, taking everything way too seriously. Like the first big laugh I had from the film was when, he, Sonic has a little talk with him at first about chilling out a little bit on the roof, and then he tells him to think about it, just meditate on it a bit, and he literally sits up there and meditates, and you see day and night passing, and hear the hawks screeching and shit, and he's like, I will meditate. It's like, damn. Second of all, when the echidna chief,
Echidna.
Echidna, when the chief shows up,
Chief Pachimaka.
Pachimaka, yeah. He seemed to be holding some kind of rolled up piece of paper or something, and in his huge fist of a glove, it kind of looked like a bong, and I'm not so sure that wasn't on purpose because that dude did seem like he was high as fuck. So, especially since later he kind of takes us on a whole fucking acid trip. I mean, I really did not expect to see an acid trip in the middle of a Knuckles series, but hey, that was a lot of fun. So I'll take it. Yeah, so he and Wade was really funny too. I mean, he and Wade have some great interaction. They have some good character development in there, so it was a little fun. I will say the villains were the weak part for me. You kind of you had some pretty generic villains in there. You did have Kid Cudi show up. So I was a little fuzzy on their motivation beyond just, hey, we just want to steal his powers and all this. So they were kind of generic, but it worked for what it did. It was fine, it wasn't bad. I agree with John that the third and fourth episodes were the strongest. The Shabbat episode was hilarious with the mother doing Krav Maga, and she, you train warriors also. So, and I really loved the scene where they're watching Pretty Woman. And he's like, that was my favorite joke of the show. And he's like, this streetwalker with a heart of gold. I do not understand. They treat her with such disdain. Is it so wrong to walk the streets? It's like, damn. He's like, and yeah, that was great. But yeah, and seeing them fight and kick ass and shit, that was fantastic too. So Wade and his family were great. He and his sister were funny, soothing banter back and forth with each other. Always welcome, of course, seeing fucking Carrie Elways. We'll fucking love that guy forever for fucking Princess Bride and Robin Hood. So I mean, that guy was always be one of my favorites. It will never get old seeing him in movies. So good to see he's still active. Especially since he was just in another one, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. So, that he was really good. Of course, he was fantastic. So, and as John made the other joke, he's literally the son of a Englishman and a Jewish woman. So, the most oppressed and the biggest oppressors. So, as I saw in one meme, the country that is responsible for the most Independence Days around the world. So, I thought the ending was a bit derivative of Sonic 2 because we've done the whole mech suit thing. So that was the part where I kind of had to groan. I'm like, I won't spoil it, but I thought that was kind of like, we've already been there with Dr. Robotnik. I mean, the guy felt like kind of a ripoff of, kind of Dr. Robotnik light, which I kind of get it because I guess you're kind of limited. But I mean, but at the same time, it's just a kid's show. It's not that serious. It's still a lot of fun. So I had fun with it. So my rating is a 6.5.
Where
Yeah, well,
the
I
fuck- where
will.
the fuck did you get that posh accent from? You're from fucking Slough.
But yeah, I will agree with you guys. Like the dinner scene was the fight at the dinner scene was funny.
Yeah,
We gotta protect the candles.
I like that even though it's been done before, I like the next day where he's like going through the house and it's like fucking dilapidated and
Yeah.
like the bookshelves fall, the fucking refrigerator door falls off the
I know.
fucking hinges.
Oh yeah.
Funny.
This is something I didn't bring up, but I really liked how in episode 4 when he gets like tied up, like hog-tied and kidnapped, like everybody's like not doing anything. They're just like staring at
right?
And well, like nobody's like concerned or anything. They're just like they're almost acting like, oh, this happens every Tuesday. It's fine.
That's nothing.
That's
Just a big mech guy beating up a red echidna.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I was gonna say
kinda
nothing to see here.
I did kind of like how like everyone was like accepting of a fucking alien that looks like
I know, right?
just like Soccer Channing faints, sure, but then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I fainted." It's like, bro, it's a fucking like cartoon character from space. I think it's fine. Like, I love that because it's like, because I don't know, it's just like the whole thing of, oh, he's an alien, whatever. No, fuck that shit. He's just like, hi, hello, I am here. I am Red Idris Elba. What are you gonna do about it?
I will say one thing I forgot to mention. I'm at least so glad that we were finally able to see Knuckles glide. Because like in the second episode, we didn't see him glide in Sonic 2. So it's more like it's like in Sonic Adventure or Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. It's like he just drops out of the plane, not just glides in a Superman pose kind of thing.
Oh, I found that scene really funny too. He's like, "Oh my god, we're flying!" No, I can like glide for short distances. And
Exactly.
He falls out of the sky and then he falls into a dumpster. I thought that was really funny.
That was funny.
I like that. I like I liked the gliding thing. That was really funny, and I really liked how I just loved their banter back and forth. I just felt like their chemistry was like really good, and I feel like that was a good example. That was like a fine example of that as well. I liked the gliding thing. That was funny.
Yeah. That was part was funny. You can fly. I can fly for a few seconds.
And that's not flying, that's falling with
style. I was just about to mention that. This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything really else to say about it because it just, I don't know. It's like it's just a ton of fun. Like, yeah, it's like as somebody said, it's a good like, breather. It's like a little bit more, you know, a little bit more something before Sonic 3.
I will say one thing with that Austin brought up. I did wish that they did kind of tie, like we at least got to see like a little snippet of Sonic 3 at the end, like where maybe we can maybe Wade and Knuckles be on the road, and then they get like hear news about a black hedgehog on the loose or something, kind of thing.
Yeah, but we don't know how they're gonna introduce Shadow. The makers of the show might not even know how they're gonna introduce Shadow because it might be like a separate team. So
Yeah.
I could see why there was like a lot of like it was mostly about Wade because it was they probably didn't get a ton of budget for this because it's a show and it's they couldn't really do a lot, hence why we got Knuckles not a ton. And he looks as good as he does.
Yeah.
So the fact that he looks as good as he does, and they probably didn't have a ton of budget, means like they probably couldn't do like the whole Chaotix team, or like how
That's fair.
they couldn't do like more that, or like they don't know the plans for Sonic yet. I mean, they're probably like filming around now, I would assume, especially now with Keanu being cast.
Mhm.
So I mean, they're probably still filming, probably doing post production. We might not know, like they're keeping like everything like hush hush because Shadow's a
Pretty much.
big deal. And on
Yeah.
top of that, I feel like this is just like a fun side story.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like it just like it's kind of nice how, unlike the fucking Marvel shows, like the Disney Plus shows have to fucking build towards
Yeah.
like the next 15 fucking movies. And and in order to watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, you had to watch fucking WandaVision, you had to watch this, you had to watch that. And it's like, okay, why the fuck do we need homework? I don't want to fucking like, so people might see this and like, oh, is this homework for Sonic 3? No, it's not. You can just enjoy this, maybe even just have a rough idea of the first two movies,
Mhm.
and you can just watch this.
Yeah.
And I think that's nice. I think that's good that it's maybe, I mean, it probably wouldn't have hurt to have like a little reference, like that post-credit scene could have been something. But even then, I kind of like how it's just its own side story.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's benefiting, like, not like, okay, we need to watch 10 shows and 3 movies in order to better understand this type of thing. So it's like, I'll give it that. Like, I liked that.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the Marvel shows, like in general, fail because because like you said, in order to watch those like films, you have to watch the shows to get an understanding. Where you shouldn't have to do your homework to watch a film. Like I
Exactly.
think, and I agree with you in the sense, like I think this show you shouldn't need to watch this show to like understand what's going on in Sonic 3. Like if that was the case, then that would have been a complete, or maybe in a sense, like like you don't need to do so. Where do your own thing, like let things happen organically. Don't make me have to watch 15 things to like understand what's going on. Just do it organically, like do like side stuff, but then have it like coincidentally connect. Like I want them to do something like that, and that's why the Marvel shows fail, because nobody cares. Like here, at least here, like, sorry to cut you off, John, but
no, you continue. Sorry, my bad.
It's a show that I found entertaining all the way through. And again, going back to the Marvel shows, like they're not very good. The Marvel shows are not really well done at all. Like this Secret Invasion, basically, I don't really like any of them, to be honest with you. But this, I think, is like a nice breath of fresh air. Like this is kind of how you should do your like side projects, like do your side
quest.
Yeah. Like make it a side quest. Do not make it so high stake and so like just do something like this, but take what didn't work here in the Knuckles show and maybe try to improve upon it if you decide to do something like this again with like other characters.
Yeah. Like I like, for instance, like if in Sonic 3, like Wade has like one of the echidna gloves that the main villain had, and then like what's his name? The guy the dad, Sonic. Oh yeah, Kitty Diddler Defender. He asks Wade like, "Oh hey, where'd you get that glove?" He's like, "I don't know. I just I had a little fun. I just found it, Or like maybe he like has a reference to like I'm a warrior now. Why? Well, it would be funny if they did like a meta joke. I will say, like they do a tongue-in-cheek like product placement, like making fun of product placement, but them themselves still doing product placement, where it's like, hey Wade, where'd you get that glove? Or hey Wade, why are you like so great at fighting now? He's like, and then it's just like, well, you gotta subscribe to Paramount Plus to figure that out. And then like totally ignore it for the rest of the movie. I feel like that could be like a good funny like tongue-in-cheek sort of thing. But like like they could reference this in Sonic 3, but not like where it's not like, but like, oh hey Wade, how you doing? Oh yeah, cool. I still hate my dad. Like I don't know, just something, a little reference, cute little reference, and then that's it. You don't need like, like showcasing the development of Knuckles because of this show that you need to watch type of thing.
Yeah. I gotcha. What'd you guys think of like some of the music that they had, like where they played the Warriors in the intro and all?
I am the warrior. I'm surprised they didn't have a reference to the Warriors. Like that was the name of like the gang. No, there isn't. We don't have to worry about that. Thank God. Although Sonic 3 is gonna be mad fucking awkward. But even then, I like fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh well. But yeah, somebody else takes the reign. I can't talk, so
it's fine. It's fine.
You know what? I will say I did actually really like the intro to the show where like you had the disc carrier and then you had like the little picture. Like I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, that.
Although I will admit the Warriors song started to get really, really annoying by like towards the end.
I don't know. I think it's so catchy and I like it. But the Warriors. I'm surprised they didn't have more references to the Warriors. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, they didn't reference the Warriors movie, but I know they played that song, Warriors song.
But I feel like that's like a reference that Sonic would have, like if for like maybe the post-credit scene should have been like them back at like their house. And like Wade and Knuckles were like, we're warriors now. And then Sonic's like, ooh, come out to play. And then like just something like that. I feel like that's something that definitely Sonic would say.
Yeah, that would be. And then they had like during the bowling tournament, they had holding out for a hero, which is the like if to quote John, if I had a nickel for every time a video game adaptation played that song, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that happened twice.
Exactly.
Because they played that during Detective Pikachu, didn't
they? Oh yeah. Well, it was during the trailer, so I don't know if that's like it counts, but I think it counts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like in so much media at this point, but it's like it's such a fucking good song. I'm not complaining. So Bonnie Tyler's making bank. Good for her. So like, fuck it, why not?
Of course. So what would you guys say was like your what was that?
Echo.
Oh, it's fine now, I think.
Not me.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what that was. So like what would you guys say was like you're with this like how you think this would like what would be your expectations for Sonic 3 coming out this the end of this year?
I'm excited for it. I'm not like super excited, like all 3 like projects from the Sonic verse, I guess you could say. They're all good. They're not amazing. They're not like the greatest thing ever, but I enjoy all 3. All of them is the best thing you can get in a slot machine. 777. All 7 out of 10s. Not amazing, great, perfect movies, but they're tons of fun. And you know what? The fact that they're just good puts them a step above like 90% of the video game movie adaptations you
yeah.
get. So if you didn't know I was
Seeing
Italian,
how
you know
like
now.
seeing like how a good majority of the video game adaptation, like it seems like we've come a long way. It seems like after movies like after we got things like Detective Pikachu, the Sonic movies, the Last of Us TV series I heard was really good.
So, yeah, the
Um,
Super Mario Brothers
the
movie.
Super Mario Brothers, the Fallout TV series, which by the way, before we close out, I know my fiance wants to talk about that since she's a massive Fallout fan. So I know we're supposed to be talking about Knuckles, but I mean, I figured I'd give her that opportunity.
Yeah, that's
No.
fine. I just have no intention of watching it because a bunch of people will be like, "Hey, this is the greatest show you're not watching," and I'm like, I turn into Mark with Ted Lasso, not watching it. Now I'm not watching it because you're telling me I should watch it, so now I don't want to watch it. So go fuck yourself.
That's why we need to use a reverse psychology on John. Hey John, don't see the Fallout series.
Too late. I will say the only thing I broke the rule for was Breaking Bad because the hype died down enough that I'm like, okay, I gotta watch the show. And you know what? Fuck it, I'll watch the show. And you know what? The show was amazing. But like once like everything dies down, maybe. Although I am glad I never watched Game of Thrones, and I was laughing my ass off during season 8 when it turned into the worst show on planet Earth. And I'm like, ha, suck it. Go fuck yourselves.
Well, fuck you.
Eat your diet Lord of the Rings ass and get the fuck out of here.
God damn. Fuck you.
But
that was not Lord of the Rings. That was that no point was that ever.
No, I know, but I know that pisses you off, so I say it anyway.
Fuck you.
But Austin, Mark, are you either of you thinking about watching the Fallout series?
I'm
Eventually,
because I started watching it with Kaylee, and she really likes it. You know, I just never finished first episode because I was like tired and stuff. So.
Yeah, I think I forgot to mention this, but it's like I was surprised on how short the Knuckles episodes were because the night before I watched it, I had just finished watching like the last episode of the Fallout series, and each one was like an hour long, kind of thing. So I honestly just had that mindset, and I was like, "Wow, 30 minutes per episode for Knuckles."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Wow." I guess that's why like just where my mindset was. Does Jack want to give his thoughts on? Does Jack want to give his thoughts on the Knuckles series?
He didn't watch it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know what, Rob? In Sonic 3, if I don't see the City Escape section like done in Sonic 3, or if they do not play the City Escape theme or Live and Learn, I will personally jump through the theater screen. I will not take it or tolerate this. If they don't do this, because it's adapting Sonic Adventure 2, and I will tell you, the Sonic Adventure games are the peak of Sonic. After Sonic Adventure, it just went downhill. So if you do not have any of the cool stuff from Sonic Adventure 2, you failed right out of the gate. So
we need to see Sonic just skiing right down the streets and being chased by a big truck.
I just want to see a little girl get 360 no scoped. That's all I care about.
I want to see the Eggman announcement where he goes, I want to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog is a bitch. And I'm going to...
I could definitely see Jim Carrey. They might not say bitch because, you know, it is still technically for kids, but like, I'm
willing to bet they're going to make it PG-13 since
we now have edgy Sonic with guns now. But yeah, it would be funny if like they're like Shadow the Hedgehog is a and then it like cuts. I think that would be kind of funny if they.
I would laugh if they pretty much have Shadow say, "Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?"
I just want to hear Eggman go, "That's right, I'm shooting the moon." He's like, no, I'm not gonna hit the Earth. I'm gonna hit the moon.
I'm gonna blow the moon in half.
He's like, how do you like that, Mr. President? I blew up the moon, you idiot. And then he's like, you have 24 hours before the moon shards hit you and you die. Like, I just want to hear something like that, because that announcement is so like, it is so iconic now and memeable that like I just want to see something like that. I know we're not gonna get it, but I would genuinely love that if they do something to like at least reference it.
Oh yeah.
But also for Shadow, I want to hear All of Me, because even though the game was bad, Shadow the Hedgehog had a really good banger in All of Me, and that should have been like the introductory theme. That should be like either his introductory theme or his like main theme. Or All Hail Shadow. All Hail Shadow.
All Hail Shadow. Yes, that's what I was good. All Hail Shadow. Heroes rise again. Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, Sonic 06 game is shit, but if I had to praise one thing about it, it's the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god. The soundtrack in that game honestly might be one of the better one of the best Sonic soundtracks. Like, and honestly, I feel like even though the story is really bad, I think you could take elements of that story, maybe do like a future Sonic film, but like try to make it better. Like,
yeah, like essentially remake Sonic 06, but good. Yeah. I could see them trying to do that.
Just don't have Sonic kiss a human princess.
Yeah, just don't do that, and you should be fine. And then, yeah, like that could work, because I mean they do have Flames of Disaster here.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're referencing some things, and I feel like because the thing is, it feels like a franchise where they know the fans and they want to cater to the fans. So they want to make sure they're doing this right. And with that, more power to them. So I feel like they wouldn't want to just, adapt Sonic 06 and to do too much in reference to Sonic 06, because that's the worst Sonic game of all time and one of the worst games.
I was gonna say it's tied with Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric as one of the worst Sonic games. Period.
Honestly, I think Sonic Forces is up there too. I think like Sonic Forces, Sonic Boom, all three Sonic Booms and Sonic 06 are like up there.
Yeah, and I mean, I could also even say the argument that let me see if I can find it. I mean, this is another one game I hated. So.
Oh, yep.
I mean, John. I know you said that you hated Black Knight. This is even worse than that.
I played like 5 minutes of Black Knight, and then I'm like, I'm never fucking playing this again.
Well, just imagine, at least for Black Knight, you have the nunchuck thing for Secret Rings. You're just doing this the whole time.
Although I will lay, I did the only Sonic game I think I've played extensively was the one where he turned into a werewolf.
Unleashed.
Yep, Unleashed. You know,
yeah.
Hot take. It is the last really good Sonic game.
Honestly, I'm probably going to get roasted by so many Sonic fans in the comments, but I don't think Unleashed is that bad of a game.
It's not. Like, Rob, I'm telling you right now, Sonic Unleashed is the last great Sonic game. Like, me and my friend Mo,
I remember enjoying it, but the thing is, I never played like a huge Sonic. I don't know a lot about Sonic. I wouldn't say I'm a Sonic fan. I just know a bit of the lore and some of the games, but I haven't like played like them extensively, so I don't know. But I remember like, the Sonic the Hedgehog turns into a werewolf. That's fucking cool. So I'm like, I want this game. So I have it for PlayStation 2. I haven't played it in years though, so I don't think I ever finished it, but I remember really liking it.
Yeah. But I would say like in terms of like some of my favorite Sonic games, it would probably be like Generations, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic Mania was a lot of fun.
Yep. So. That was a good one. For me, because I'd say obviously the adventure games are obviously going to be in there.
Oh yeah, so the adventure games are great.
Honestly, Generations, like I think Generations is good, but it's really only good as like a novelty like game, like it's a good anniversary title.
Yeah.
because it's just a rehash of different like levels from previous games.
That's fair.
Like Unleashed is really good. Honestly, the opening cutscene of Unleashed is so good. Like,
Oh yeah,
me and Mo, we were talking about it, we watched it, we were like, wow, this is like, honestly, I wish that they at some point did like a movie like, I know it would have cost so much money, but it would have been really cool to see like a
Yeah.
Sonic movie with like that animation style. That would have been
yeah.
really, really cool. Heroes wasn't that bad, but I don't know if I put it because like
Heroes was okay. I think the only thing that really annoyed me about Heroes was the slippery. I did not like the slippery controls in that game.
yeah. But again, like
Wasn't
Adventure,
the last Sonic game really good? Sonic Frontiers.
it got a lot of positive reviews, but like I have a friend who played it and he was like, no, this is not.
It's all right. I thought it was all right. It's not great, but it's okay.
But remember, guys, this year is the year of Shadow, where not only we're going to see Shadow in the Sonic 3 movie, but he's going to be in Sonic X Shadow
Generations, exactly. Let's just hope that it's a better Shadow game than what his last solo game was.
You know what? As much as that game gets shit, and rightfully so, I at least appreciate Sega trying something different and not like doing a rehash. But
Yeah.
it's not good, but I can at least respect it for what it was trying to do.
I think the biggest problem with the Shadow game is like it had good ideas because you choose your own destiny. Like, does Shadow become a hero? Does he become a villain? Or does he go solo and does his own thing? But the problem is the fact that the gameplay is just way too repetitive and way too monotonous. Like, you're having to do the same shit over and over and over. And keep in mind, you have a final story that you unlock after you complete the other 10 endings. So you're having to complete like 10 gameplays of the same shit.
Yeah. No, it's rough, but I can at least appreciate like the ideas.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, it's really memeable that like you're playing a Sonic game where you shoot guns. I think that's just really funny. Yeah, I feel like, honestly, I feel like Sonic just overall peaked with Adventure 1 and 2. Like, like after that, you just couldn't top it. Like, I feel like Sonic had a really good introduction to 3D, but over time, like his like pop, it just dropped down. So, like, I think like when you're comparing Mario to Sonic, like you can tell Sega genuinely cares, at least when it comes to the movies, because it's like really easy to like. I mean, I think Nintendo cares too, but I think they're both like, because Sega is way too experimental, where they're like, oh, we should try this, and it doesn't work. Whereas Nintendo's like, oh no, the same formula all the time. But that's why Mario works, because he's very consistent, and you know what you're getting.
Yeah,
whereas
like
Sonic,
they'll introduce like a mechanic, or a certain storyline that like changes it up. But for the most part, it's like kind of that you're smashing Goombas, you're throwing Koopa shells, all that shit. So, so I think, yes, Mario is more consistent. That's why he's like consistently better. And then like Sonic just hasn't had a good game in 20 years. So sorry, but that's just how it is.
It is
That's
how
fair.
it is.
But I feel like Sega, like they can like pick and choose all the good aspects. Like, okay, what are we doing? All right, we have Knuckles.
Thank you.
We're getting Shadow the Hedgehog. Let's adapt the best Sonic game of all time, because that's what we can do. Because fuck yeah, God knows we can't do the God knows we can't make a good game, but we can make good movies. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, it's honestly, I will say, it's really good thing that they have a director that actually did work on one of the games, because Jeff Fowler, he was he did work on one of the CGI cutscenes for. Unfortunately, it was for this. So, but what are you gonna do? I guess it's better. I guess it's better than someone who doesn't know shit about Sonic.
Like the people who made Sonic 06.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, honestly,
so,
well, actually, if you read the behind the scenes of Sonic 06, it's like a very it's a
It was
very
rushed.
it was rushed. It's like very sad because they had all these really good ideas, but then Sega themselves like, nope, we got to split up the teams because you got to work on the Wii games and then you can work on this, and then
Yeah, because it's like you had two teams. One was working on the 360 and the PS3 Sonic game, and the other one was focusing on the Wii because at that time the Wii had just came out. So, and they were trying to that's why this game they went too heavy on the Wii controls where you just had to control them like this kind of thing.
yeah. Mark is like, okay, I'm done with the Sonic talk. I'm fucking out.
Is there anything you want to add, Mark?
Nah.
No? Okay.
I can't think of it. Yeah. I liked it. I like the
Okay, it is-
movies. I like the show, but I mean,
I got
I'm
you.
not, the Sonic expert. So
I got you. Well, are we done talking about Knuckles?
Fallout review?
Yeah, let me go and get my fiance. So I'll be right back.
How about them Jets?
oh man, those Jets are looking pretty rough as always. But it's football lore at this point that the Jets are just really just bad. So you know what?
hey, at least they didn't make the dumbass choices that Atlanta made.
You know what? That's true too.
I don't know. I
makes
didn't
it
watch the draft. The only thing I know about the draft is when I think like the governor of Michigan like fucking went on to like introduce the Detroit Lions pick and the entire fucking place booed her. So that's all I know about the draft. Everything else I don't know because I'm not a football boy. Sorry, not sorry.
That makes
Oof.
sense. That makes sense. But you know what? I kind of switching topics here real quick. So I like to go on Steam sometimes and just read bad reviews. And for Suicide Squad Kill the Just League, there's a review where it's literally just a recipe for New York style pizza.
Okay, so it looks like I asked her Renee if she wanted to talk about Fallout, but she was like, "I'm eating right now," so
Food
I don't
is
know.
always more important.
So
Yeah,
it's
she's
okay.
right.
Maybe we can after we get done eating or something she can talk about it on a hang up. So yeah, all right. But
Sure.
anyway, I guess we're done talking about Knuckles then. So we're ready to announce what the but
I don't remember what our next review is. I don't remember. I think he froze. Or I froze. I think he froze.
What is like the next review?
Okay.
Our next review is the Fall Guy.
Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy. Speaking of fall.
Woof.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, our next review is going to be the Fall Guy. And that will be hosted by, I think it's Rome.
Yeah, it's Rome if he's available, that is.
Okay.
If he's not available, well, oh well.
Okay. Well, all right then. So, all right. So until then, we'll catch you next time, guys.
Again, we have brought light into the world. You're welcome, America.